You know the feeling. Your heart starts pounding in your chest, your palms get a little sweaty, and a knot forms in the pit of your stomach. There's a conversation you know you need to have, but every cell in your body is screaming at you to run in the other direction. For days you've rehearsed the words in your head, playing out every possible scenario. But when the moment finally arrives, something goes wrong. The perfect words vanish. You either freeze up completely, saying nothing, or you blurt out something that makes an already tense situation 1,000 times worse. What if the problem isn't what you're saying, but how you're starting? What if the secret to turning a potential explosion into a productive breakthrough was just one simple shift in your approach? Most of us enter these conversations braced for a fight, but we're about to discover how to start with an alliance instead. The technique I am about to share with you will not only make these conversations easier, it will transform them into the most powerful moments of growth in your relationships and your career. Ever wonder why your body reacts like you're about to face down a predator when all you're doing is preparing to talk to your partner or your boss? The answer isn't in your conscious mind. It's buried deep within your ancient brain wiring. This is your survival programming at work. Millions of years of evolution designed a part of your brain, the amygdala, to act as a smoke detector for threats. When it senses danger, it triggers the fight or flight response, flooding your body with adrenaline and cortisol. This system was perfect for surviving in the wild. But here's the problem. Your brain can't tell the difference between a physical threat and a social one. To your primal brain, the threat of being rejected by your partner, criticized by your boss, or judged by your team feels just as dangerous as a tiger in the grass. So that ancient alarm system hijacks your rational mind. Your logic, empathy, and creative problem-solving skills go offline. All you're left with is the primitive urge to fight back with anger, flee by avoiding the conversation entirely, or freeze up unable to say a thing. So, if we're all walking into these moments with a brain that's hardwired for battle, how do we ever achieve peace? How do you bypass this ancient tripwire? It begins with a profound mindset shift, one that can turn an opponent into an ally before the real conversation even begins. Before you plan a single word, before you schedule the meeting, you have to make one crucial decision that determines everything. Are you walking into a battle, or are you inviting someone to solve a problem with you? Most of us subconsciously choose battle. We arm ourselves with points and counterpoints, preparing for defense and attack. But this opponent mindset activates the other person's primal threat response before you've even said hello. You're guaranteeing a fight. The shift is to see the situation not as you versus them, but as both of you versus the problem. Imagine two pilots in a cockpit flying through a storm. They aren't fighting each other. They are working together, using their combined skills to navigate the challenge and land the plane safely. The storm is the problem, the difficult topic, the bad news, the misunderstanding. You and the other person are the pilots. This is the ally mindset. You're not there to prove you're right or to win an argument. You are there to recruit a teammate. When you approach someone as a potential partner, their defense is lower, their mind opens, and their fight or flight response stays dormant. This single shift is the foundation for everything that follows, and it unlocks the potential for a real breakthrough. So how do you instantly signal that you're an ally, not an opponent? How do you flip that switch in their brain from threat to trust? You use 3 simple but profound words. I need your help. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of incredible strength and respect. Let's break down why this phrase is so powerful. First, it triggers empathy, not defensiveness. When you attack someone, you always do this. Their walls go up immediately. But when you ask for help, you appeal to a fundamental human desire to be useful and valued. You're not blaming them. You're enlisting them. Second, it shows vulnerability. By admitting you don't have all the answers, you instantly level the playing field. It takes the conversation from a hierarchical lecture to a peer-to-peer collaboration. In a world that pushes us to always be right, showing that you're willing to be open is a superpower. Think about the difference. Instead of saying, that comment you made at dinner last week really bothered me, try, I need your help understanding the comment you made at dinner last week. Instead of telling your boss, I feel like my ideas are being ignored, try, I need your help figuring out how I can better contribute my ideas to the team. This opener isn't a trick. It's a genuine invitation. It transforms the entire dynamic and sets the stage for a conversation that builds bridges instead of burning them. Now, not all difficult conversations are the same. Acknowledging this is key to choosing the right strategy. We can sort nearly every tough talk into one of two categories, each with its own distinct playbook. The surgical strike. This is for delivering bad news. It's for situations where a hard decision has already been made and the outcome is non-negotiable. Think of firing an employee, ending a relationship, or informing your team that their project has been cancelled. The goal here is clarity, compassion, and speed. Like a surgeon, your job is to be precise, clean, and direct to minimize suffering. The Peace Summit. This is for navigating sensitive topics. It's for situations where there is a shared problem, a misunderstanding, or hurt feelings that need to be resolved. The outcome isn't predetermined. It needs to be co-created. This is where you address a partner's behavior, resolve a conflict with a colleague, or discuss a recurring issue. The goal here is collaboration, connection, and mutual understanding. Confusing the two is a recipe for disaster. You can't hold a peace summit when you need to perform a surgical strike. It gives false hope. And you can't perform a surgical strike when a peace summit is needed. It causes unnecessary damage. Knowing which playbook to use is the first step to mastering the art of the difficult conversation. When it's time to deliver bad news, the temptation is to soften the blow with small talk. You may think you're being kind, but you're actually creating anxiety and confusion. Directness is kindness. The surgical strike has 3 critical steps. First, the warning shot. You must signal that difficult news is coming. This gives the other person a moment to mentally and emotionally brace themselves. Don't start with "How was your weekend?" Start with a calm, direct phrase like, "Thank you for meeting with me. I have some difficult news to share. This is a hard conversation for me to have. What I'm about to tell you is not easy to hear." Then pause for a beat. That silence is crucial. It lets your opening statement land and prepares them for what's next. Second, the direct impact. State the news clearly, concisely, and without ambiguity. Don't use confusing corporate jargon or vague language. Be direct. "We've made the difficult decision to eliminate your position. I've realized that I need to end our relationship. After reviewing the budget, we have to cancel the project." Effective immediately. Deliver the core message in 1 or 2 clean sentences. Finally, the support. Once the news is delivered, your job shifts to managing the aftermath. This is where compassion comes in. Stop talking and let them process. Be prepared for silence, anger, or sadness. Then, when appropriate, you can provide the next steps or offer support. "I want to walk you through the severance package," or "I'm here to answer any questions you have." The surgical strike is never easy, but this framework ensures you are being respectful, clear, and humane in the toughest of moments. When you need to navigate hurt feelings or a misunderstanding, you're not delivering a verdict. You're building a bridge. This calls for the Peace Summit, a collaborative approach built on a simple 3-step framework designed to bring you closer together. Let's revisit the scenario where a friend made a comment at dinner that's been bothering you all week. Here's how you lead the Peace Summit. Step 1. The invitation. You set aside a private moment and begin with the 3 magic words. You say, "Hey, I need your help with something. I've been thinking about a comment you made at dinner last week, and I'm trying to understand it better." Right away, you've framed this as a collaborative effort, not an accusation. Their guard comes down and their curiosity goes up. Step 2. The expression. Now you share your perspective using I statements. This is critical. Instead of a blaming you statement like, "You were so rude, you own your feelings," you say, "When you said that my new business idea sounded risky, I felt dismissed and a little embarrassed in front of our friends." You're not stating that they are rude, a judgment. You're stating how their words impacted you, a feeling. This is undeniable, non-debatable, and far less likely to trigger a defensive reaction. Step 3. The collaborative close. After you've spoken, you must invite them to share their side to complete the bridge. This is where you ask, "That's how it landed for me. Can you tell me what you were thinking at that moment?" After they respond, you close the loop by reinforcing the connection. You can say, "Thank you for clarifying. I feel so much better now that we've talked this through." How are you feeling about it? This final question ensures you both leave the conversation feeling heard, understood, and united. One of the most powerful and most underused tools in any difficult conversation is silence. After you've delivered your message, whether it's bad news or a vulnerable feeling, your instinct will be to keep talking. You'll want to justify, over-explain, or soften what you just said because the silence feels incredibly awkward. Resist that urge. That silence is not empty. It's filled with processing. When you drop an emotional truth, you have to give the other person a moment to catch it. They are experiencing their own internal reaction, surprise, confusion, or maybe defensiveness. If you rush in with more words, you rob them of the space they need to understand both what you said and how they feel about it. A strategic pause does two things. First, it demonstrates confidence. It shows you believe in the validity of your feeling, and you don't need to frantically defend them. Second, it creates a vacuum that the other person is naturally compelled to fill. It's a quiet, respectful invitation for them to share their perspective. By simply staying quiet and holding eye contact, you are non-verbally saying, "I've shared my piece, and now I am ready to truly listen to yours." The pause shifts the focus from your monologue to a shared dialogue, and it's often in that quiet space that the real breakthrough happens. For most of our lives, we're taught to avoid friction. We equate a smooth, easy relationship with a healthy one. But this is a profound misunderstanding of how genuine, lasting connections are built. A relationship with no friction is not strong. It's just untested. Think of a blacksmith forging a sword. The process is violent. It involves intense heat, deafening noise, and the constant percussive impact of the hammer. It's all friction. But that very friction is what transforms a lump of raw, brittle iron into a flexible, resilient, and unbreakable blade. Difficult conversations are the heat and the hammer for your relationship. They are uncomfortable, yes, but they are also the very thing that burns away insecurity, strengthens bonds, and forges a deeper, more authentic connection. Every time you successfully navigate a hard conversation, you're not just solving a problem, you are adding a layer of trust and resilience to the relationship. So stop dreading these moments. Start seeing them as opportunity. The friction isn't the thing that breaks the relationship. It's the very fuel required to make it stronger, more honest, and truly We've covered a lot, but it all comes down to a few powerful rules that can redefine your most challenging moments. Let me leave you with 5 life-changing takeaways to make you first, choose ally, not a before you say. Decide that you are both on the same team working together to defeat them. This mindset shift changes. Second, start with I need. These 3 words are your key to disarming defensiveness and inviting immediate collaboration. Make them the first words out of your third, know your book. Are you delivering a verdict or building? Choose the right tool for the job, the direct surgical strike for bad news or the collaborative peace summit for sensitive issues. Fourth, master the art of the pause. After you speak your truth, stop. Let the silence do the work. It gives them time to process and invites them to share their side honestly. Fifth, see friction as fuel. Stop avoiding these conversations. See them as the necessary force that transforms your relationships from fragile to forged, turning brittle iron into unbreakable steel. In a world that feels more divided than ever, the ability to navigate disagreement with grace and courage is a superpower. It will not only improve your relationships, it will change the way you move through the world. If this has helped you, smash that like button and subscribe for more tools that change the way you communicate. And I have a question for you. Which one of these rules do you need to start applying the most? Let me know in the comments below. Now go have that conversation. You've got this.